A24 back in the room. Welcome to this trailer reaction to the second trailer to MaXXXine, the third film in Ty West and Mia Goth's trilogy, the horror trilogy, the slasher trilogy that pivots around Pearl or Maxine or whatever her name is. This is, as I say, the third. This is the... So we've had X, and then we had Pearl, which was the origin story of X. And then after X, we've got Maxine. And whilst those two were very firmly set within the sort of American farmhouse horror trope type scenario, a little bit Texas Chainsaw Massacre, although I have to say, of the two, X and Pearl, I thought Pearl was immeasurably more superior. As I've said before, I felt X lent too heavily on the old, it's just horrific enough that an old woman having sex or wanting sex was that was horror enough. Pearl, I thought, was a sensational character portrait of a character played by Mia Goth, Pearl, who, as I've said, and some of you have agreed, and some of you have also said, her performance sort of, she's like today's Shelley Duvall. She was channeling such deep reservoirs of dislocation, victimhood, but justified victimhood, trauma, exploitation. And these films stylistically have that real sort of sexploitation, almost grindhouse feel, low budget B-movie. And I think the three films together, back to back, are really quite a sort of crowning achievement and a real kind of, you know, jolt in the arm to indie filmmaking, because they haven't cost an awful lot to make, and yet they have managed to really shift the rubric, if you like, for, you know, filmmaking and horror franchises. We don't often get new horror franchises, do we? We often hear the resurrection of The Evil Dead or The Exorcist or Halloween and all these kind of things. But here, this was a completely unique creation, and I think this speaks to the strength of a company like A24. And I'm not going to say it's good just because I'm wearing an A24 cap if I don't think it's good. As I say, I think X was weaker than Pearl. The stylistic choices in Pearl were sensational. The colour palette, the riffing on the sort of Wizard of Oz, the horror, the kind of slightly cartoony, twee, rural kind of, you know, pigtail American rural type thing, twisted and inverted into proper slasherness. I mean, you know, we're talking slasher horror. The trailer we've already seen for this one, interesting. It's really already, we know that this film is going to be riffing on the whole 80s thing, VHS cassettes, the porn industry, you know, the lot, what was the lot of women actors at that time. And in the centre of this is Maxine, but we also know it ties in or intersects with that Hollywood sort of notorious Hollywood serial killer, the Night Walker. Now, in terms of, you know, the three films, the main character is obsessed with fame. This is a trilogy about the dark underside, the sort of maggot-ridden, vicious, venal, and disturbing and twisted turns that a desire for fame can lead to. This is about thwarted ambition. This is about a dream. This is about, interestingly, the three films are about the American dream, because even in the porn industry, you know, it's an American dream that every poor young actress over the years has been reaching for. I was getting from the last trailer sort of, you know, Boogie Nights kind of vibes, all that kind of stuff. Stylistically looks interesting. It's you know, of all the trailers I've seen, it still didn't quite hit me in the same way as Pearl. So I'm hoping that this, the second trailer, will give us not too much. We don't want too much from a trailer, but we want enough to kind of feel. I want to feel some of the deep, dark reservoirs of sort of, you know, disturbance that we saw in Mia Goth. Certainly, just in, if nothing else, that long last shot of Pearl. You know, incredibly stressful and intense interior performance from Mia Goth. She's really quite sensational.
A24 presents the follow-up to a film that possessed a nation, The Puritan 2.
Cut! The blood's wrong.
Molly Bennett, meet Maxine Minx.
Pleased to meet you.
Sorry.
We've all got blood on our hands now.
The past ain't finished with you, Maxine. Ain't nowhere to hide. There's show business. You never work in this town again. Maxine, what are you hiding?
I've seen the devil stalking me.
can feel his power.
We've made it to the belly of the beast. You must eliminate all distractions, or the beast will spit you right back out.
Time to pay for your sins.
It's America's new scream queen.
Maxine fucking Minx.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
Oh, very similar to the previous trailer. Pretty much the same kind of range of shots in there. Less leaning on the Night Stalker, is it? Night Walker narrative. I'm kind of hoping, and I'm presuming that the kind of more obvious splatters of blood are from the sort of sexploitation grindhouse films that are being made within the film. I'm looking forward to. There's a fantastic audition scene in Pearl, and I'm guessing here we get a similar kind of strong audition scene because we see her wiping away the tears. Those moments. I mean, Mia Goth is one of those actresses that you can just lock a camera on her face, have an incredibly slow digital or literal zoom moving in on her, and just she will emote, or not emote, but emote. Eminently watchable. I like the style. Kevin Bacon in there just to kind of give us a bit of even more kind of 80s kind of nouse, Footloose-esque. I can't say honestly it's got the... At the moment, it's so breezy, which they all have that breeziness, but bedded underneath that breeziness is real darkness. So I'm kind of really hoping that when we get to the film, we're going to feel that much darker substrata of kind of, you know, the porn industry, the kind of the sacrifices that she needs to make, the manipulation. Elizabeth Debicki in there, obviously. Who played Princess Diana in the older Princess Diana in The Crown. She looks kind of good. Not wholly convinced there. Bobby Cannavale is it as well, playing the cop. I like him, but I always feel he kind of doesn't quite get me always right to where I want him to get me to, if you know what I mean. But anyway, I mean, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm just hoping that this is an amuse-bouche. Is that right? An amuse-bouche? I think so.